run the Summit Safety and Efficiency Solution. And also I'm the co-chair of the Hot Dog Industrial Association Manufacturing Committee. This evening, we have some executives from Long Island Manufacturing, including Michaeline Messler at Winter Bread, Nita Moritz, who is from COVID International, as well as their local division is Biochem Diagnostics. Brian Atkin, who's the president of Franklow Rubber and Gasket. David Friedfeld, president of Clear Vision Optical. John Utley will be joining us later. And Michael Tobin, who is the president of Orlicon Metco in Westbury. So what I'd like to do is just ask the panelists to give a 30-second introduction for themselves and their company. And let's start with Brian.
Thanks, Ron. Thanks for having me here. Good evening, everybody. So Franklow Rubber and Gasket, we are a die cutter and converter of all non-metallic materials, mainly rubber, cork, foam, and sponges. We supply to many different industries. We work off of three basic concepts when we're introduced to a company. First, we explore together what the main pain point issues are that they're having and what value added that we could bring to their company. Next, we pursue ideas and options with the customer, whether it's material selection, production capabilities, processes, or simply improved service. And then finally, we create an innovative product for them, providing a solution which empowers them to excel. So basically, the die cutting is the end product that happens after all that. And we're really a service-based company to get our customers what they need when they need it.
Very good. Thank you, Brian. Welcome. Michaeline, please.
Hi, I'm Michaeline Messler. I'm the head of human resources for Europastry, who purchased Winter Bread a few years ago. We are a manufacturer of a commercial bakery, basically. So we're an essential business, and we probably all of you at one time or another have probably experienced eating some of our bread or our garlic knots. So we have two manufacturing facilities in New York on Long Island, and one in Bay and one in Ronkonkoma. We also have some offices outside of New York and New Jersey. And because we are essential, we are working through this crisis, and I'll share more of that with you in a little while.
Very good. Thank you. David Friedfeld, president of Clear Vision Optical.
That's right. I'm Dave Friedfeld, president of Clear Vision Optical. We're a family-owned and operated business here on Long Island for about 70 years. What we do is design, produce, manufacture, and distribute prescription eyewear and fashion sunglasses. As I explained to the panel before, we're in a unique situation that our customers, who are generally speaking retailers, are closed down, and our other customers, who are optometrists and ophthalmologists, are considered essential, but by CDC and other associations in the United States, only handling emergencies. So effectively the retail part of the business, which I participate in, that's closed down too. So we're essential, unlike others, but business than we would ever expect to have done in any of our wildest dreams.
That's great. Thanks for joining us tonight. Michael Tobin, president of Orlicon Metco.
Hi, thanks for having me, Ron. Orlicon Metco, we're the largest manufacturer of thermal spray materials and equipment. We have 8 plants that I manage in the U.S. We have another probably close to 20 or so overseas. Our main products that are manufactured here are the materials and the equipment that go out to aviation, energy, medical, industrial markets, oil and gas. We are a Department of Defense contractors, so we are considered essential, and we are open for business. Our three main manufacturing facilities, we have 2 here in Westbury in the same building, 1 in Troy, Michigan, 1 in Plymouth, Michigan, and some service centers in Texas, West Virginia, and we also have another 2 smaller plants in Montana. We have been open and running, so we are excited. We're considered essential, and aviation is a big part of what we do, especially for the Air Force. So we're pretty busy right now.
Great, good to hear it. And Nita Moritz, president and CEO of COVID International.
Hi, everybody. I'm Nina Moritz, CEO of Cova International. We are a medical device company, and we have two lines of business major. One is urine analysis, and the other one is drugs of abuse. And our headquarters is in Garden Grove, California, and our urine analysis manufacturing is there. And then our drugs of abuse is actually on Long Island, in Brentwood. So, and we also have a selling arm out of the Netherlands. So we have it there too. We are an international business. We are, of course, considered essential being in the medical industry, and we support big suppliers and medical device manufacturers such as Siemens and Roche. So we are manufacturing on both sides, going full. It's very unique for us. What has happened is we are essential and we have to be manufacturing. However, because of COVID, nobody is going to the doctor for normal. So we do a lot of controls which are used whenever you go to the doctor and you do a normal test. They have to use that. The labs have to use our products for everything. But because the doctors are not seeing patients because of the COVID and social distancing, but they're open and the hospitals are just totally on emergency and respiratory issues, that we suddenly see a lag. So we were doing pretty well until about March, and April is just like completely the business is, very similar to the ophthalmologist which David talked about. So we are in a very unique situation. So what we are doing now is looking at how do we plan for this? What is the sales looking like? What is our production going to look like? Because we can't shut down the plants. So it's been it's very challenging, but very interesting because it's bringing the team with social distance in the conference rooms on corners of the room. We are at the same time chatting and, doing all of that. So it's pretty unique. So that's us.
Good, interesting. All right, so Brian, why don't you talk to us about how the COVID-19 has impacted your business?
Okay, so we were actually we supply to many different industries. One of them being the medical device industry. So we have a bunch of companies begging us to stay open. Actually, I had letters written to us to make sure we stay open and give them what they need, because they service people like oxygen concentrators and asthma testing devices. So we were fortunate to be able to service them. We also had, in the beginning, a bunch of business in the construction industry, so we were servicing them as well. That's pretty much stopped. So we were started off the year with a great first quarter, and it's obviously, like everybody, it dropped off, after that. And we are open, and we're fortunate enough that because in the beginning in the companies we've served, we've had enough business where we're in the position that we've had the challenges other people haven't had because they've had to let people go. We've had to figure out how to social distance the people in our company. We've had to alter hours. We've had to clean the place twice a day. Now we've had it because sales have dropped enough where we have alternating schedules, so the density in the place has reduced tremendously, but enough to keep the businesses going. We've actually looked for opportunities to give back to the community, such as helping make face shields for companies. We started working with Stony Brook and a lot of other Long Island manufacturers that are actually figuring out how to make that stuff. We're helping supply them with the stuff they need to make it. So it's been an interesting challenge. Like I said, I've been fortunate on the side on how to keep my workers healthy. I'm first now hitting the part of how to ensure paying them and keeping them employed for the next 6 months. So I'm first coming into that challenge where other people, unfortunately, have been in that world for the last 3 months already.
Right. Michaeline, how's the COVID impacted your company?
A couple of different ways. Number one, we've had to revise the way we're working with our customers. Our two industries that we mainly do business with is food service, which we know is not running right now, but the other part of that is retail. And retail, as we all know, if we go into the stores, has changed a lot on the way we shop, and people are not buying the same way anymore. So kind of readjust the way we're the types of products that we're making to adjust to the needs that the clients are looking for now. So we're not necessarily looking to produce everything we were doing before. We've had to make some adjustments based on that. One way. The other way is in the manufacturing areas itself. The office personnel are all working from home, but obviously we've had to put a lot of protections into the warehouses for personal protection. We've put all kinds of guidelines around and protocols around to help protect the employee base so that they're 6 feet apart, because they were working on conveyor belts and things of that nature. We had to make sure the spacing was right. So we've had to make a lot of adjustments in those areas to make sure that we're keeping our main focus right now is the safety of our employees. I mean, we've decided that we're more concerned about the safety of the employees. If we have to be at a break-even point to make sure that happens, we're fine with that. But safety is our number one concern right now. So, but we're going to continue making those adjustments as we go along. So those are probably the two key areas right now.
Okay, great, thank you. David, how has the COVID impacted you?
So as I mentioned before, our customers like Nina's are effectively closed yet open. So when we found this out, similar to what Brian said, we had a good first quarter. And on March 13th, I actually went to my CFO and said, I think these numbers are wrong. She said, why? I think they're too big. We must have been doing something wrong. There's something wrong here in the numbers. And of course, that was the weekend that everything happened with California, New York, the president, everything goes down. And the next couple of weeks became very challenging for us. So immediately our team, so keep in mind, we have 120 people on Long Island and about 80 around the country. We have to manage the external sales team, internal team. We went into a kind of like a war room situation, understanding what was going to happen. And our projections, let's say for the year, we would go down to less than 10% business per month for an extended period of time. Our customers, in addition to some of the retail that some of the other guys have, our doctors are in your face all the time. So they're touching your eyes, contact lenses, all that type of stuff. So we decided that we would have to become educators to our customers. So we've opened up a internal group that is working on how do we do business when we come back. We have a forecasting group. We have a lot of business. All of our products are imported overseas in a very long supply chain, starting down with, let's say, a very small screw or a very small nose pad or a piece of plastic. So we have to manage a supply chain, which is very, very challenging now. Many of our products came in from China. We double sourced them from another country once we found out there was going to be a problem in China, but you'll all appreciate that we double sourced in Italy. So it's quite a good move on us. We thought we were smart, but we have a challenge there too. As far as the distribution of our product, we employ a lot of people in our distribution center, but since we're not distributing, we had to make some choices about, how do we treat people? So it was only last week that we did furlough people. We have what we call flexible furlough. We can bring people in, put them on furlough for a week or two, come off furlough for a week or two. But for right now, we're in the beginning of that process, and we understand that business can change day to day. One of the things that I'm probably most proud of is that with our salespeople around the country, they're not able to go into any offices. So the question is, what do you do with your sales team that's remote to begin with? So we've actually gone into what we call an education period, which is about 3 or 4 hours a day, in the afternoon starting at 2 o'clock. And then in the morning, there's an administrative period where a lot of salespeople don't like administration of the records and so forth and so on, or making calls to their customers just to check on, see how they're doing. We have a very, very sophisticated system to keep our salespeople occupied, engaged, and communicating out to our customers, as well as learning. So for the most part, we've looked at this period now after we stabilized our business, understood where our burn rate was for our cash. We're in this period, which we call the interim period, before our customers reopen. And right now, I'm on a task force for our industry to kind of determine what that looks like for our industry, because there's 20,000 independent offices that we all sell, people in my industry, as well as commercial optometry. And there's a lot of misunderstanding about how this is going to look when we reopen as an industry. So I'm working on that, which is take